Okay, well, hello everybody and welcome. I'm Lillian Buziak, co-founder and chief revenue officer at Capris AI, and I am very excited about today's conversation. We're going to dive into something that's reshaping how professionals think about their careers, and I have somebody very special to share the stage with today who you can all see, and some of you may even know. Our guest speaker has been living at the intersection of technology and finance for over 25 years. He's a data scientist, founder, and co-founder of multiple successful companies, including Interel, Argonaut, and Downward. He's traveled to over 85 countries to help educate the world. He's the host of the Asking Good Questions podcast, and I'm personally very proud to say that he's an investor in Capris AI. What I've always appreciated about this individual is his ability to make the complex feel clear and the abstract feel actionable. He's been both a mentor and a friend, and his perspective has shaped how I think about innovation and strategy. Today, he'll share how AI is creating new opportunities across industries. You'll hear a practical framework for moving from AI anxious to AI advantaged, learn from real world success stories, and leave with tools you can use immediately. I'm excited to introduce my friend who pulls off wearing a hat better than anyone I know. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Edward Roski.
Thank you. It's extremely kind. My name, as that amazing introduction just said, is Edward Roski. And since my background is Office of the CFO, a lot of my examples today are going to be finance examples. That said, they apply no matter what your area is. But if you're like, why does Edward keep going on and on about finance? It's just my area of expertise. Dating back actually to 1997, I launched my first company, Interel Consulting, on May 21st of 1997. And while I would like that to be the most notable thing people might remember from that year, which you probably remember about that year, occurred actually 10 days earlier. It occurred on May 11th, 1997. That is a very disappointed Gary Kasparov. Amazing 1990s haircuts from the people in the audience. For anybody that doesn't remember, this was actually the rematch of Gary Kasparov and Deep Blue. Kasparov did win in 1996 and advanced in 1997. He agreed to a rematch, and IBM's Deep Blue defeated him. They went into that match 6, 2.5 to 2.5, and Deep Blue defeated who at the time was the world chess champion, Gary Kasparov. And everyone thought that human chess masters were finished. As Kasparov later said, it wasn't the first match I lost to a machine. It was the first match I lost, period. No human had ever beaten in his entire life Gary Kasparov, and the headlines were extremely dramatic. This is the end of human chess. The machines have won. Humanity is finished. A whole bunch of movies came out about how we were all going to die, and it was probably the computers that were going to kill us all. If that sounds in any way familiar, it's the exact same conversation we're having about AI today. And everyone's asking that very same question. Is AI going to take my job? Well, let me tell you what happened to Gary Kasparov after. Here's what the headlines missed. Kasparov didn't retire and, I don't know, become, I guess, a cab driver. I'm not even sure they had Uber in 97. Instead, he actually pioneered something called advanced chess. And in advanced chess, it's where humans and AI work together. And here's the important part. He realized he was a stronger player. Humans were stronger with AI, not weaker. because it turns out when you combine human experience, human strategic insight with the computational power, the vast reach of AI, you get results that neither could actually achieve alone. It's like having the entire history of every bit of chess knowledge or the world's most really smart calculator, but it can also think. And today, the strongest chess players aren't pure humans and they're not pure AI. They're humans who have mastered AI collaboration. They actually have a name for them. They call them centaurs. And these centaur players dominate every tournament in which they're allowed to work together because they understand something crucial. By the way, they have to compete in separate tournaments because they're so much better than the humans are alone. But what they've realized is the future doesn't belong to humans. It doesn't belong to AI. It belongs to humans with AI. And that same principle is transforming every profession. In my neck of the woods, it's transforming finance every single day. So before the end of this session, you're going to discover how to become the business equivalent of a chess grandmaster with AI. And I'm not talking theory. I'm going to give you real examples from real companies I've talked to. I'll talk about a credit union that's figured out how to save 35 million with AI. US Treasury in the last year has saved billions just finding fraud. These aren't someday stories. These aren't, oh, wow, we're really early in the hype cycle. This is happening right now. Most professionals are spending a whole lot of time debating, does AI actually work? Maybe it's just making stuff up. Let's talk about hallucinations like it was February of 2023, while the real world keeps moving ahead. And I want each one of you to become not advanced chess, but advanced business professional. Like every one of you to be able to work with AI as that partner in whatever it is, in the personal world, in the professional world. I'm mostly going to give you professional examples today. Now you're going to want to screenshot this when it's done animating and share it with all of your colleagues, or don't if you just really want to pass them all. I guess that's fine too. You do you. But this timeline is going to show exactly when early adopters begin to pull ahead. So ChatGPT launched in December of 2022, and within 2 months, it had over 100 million users. To put that in perspective, that is the fastest adoption of a new technology at the time in human history. So in 2023, most of us didn't discover it in December. We kind of kicked in like January or February. Maybe we heard about our kids using it to cheat on tests or something. But business professionals, brave, curious souls, were already beginning to experiment with ChatGPT. And over the course of the year, they started beginning to use it, not just for, what is love or who hit the most home runs last year. They were using it for pretty simple work functions. To be honest, they were probably hiding it from their companies. 2023, most corporations were still trying to figure out what AI was and if they should ban it at work. And in 2024, those early adopters were already figuring out how to get back 15 to 25 hours per week. They, in some cases, were taking their 60-hour work week down to a 40-hour work week. In some cases, they were replacing it with more value-added things, and I'll tell you both those examples later on. Some companies were actually starting to roll out AI in 2024. Most common things they rolled out, ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot licenses, but usually it didn't have a lot of direction, didn't have a lot of training. And the first movers were already starting to move ahead of the others at work. People were starting to go to them and saying, hey, could you explain this whole AI thing? We want to be more productive too. Now advance to 2025. We're seeing companies are now trying to hold on to those AI innovators, those AI fluent professionals, because those AI early adopters are realizing that on the open job market, knowing that they've been using AI for 2 years, they're getting 40 to 60% salary premiums. If you go look for a job, one of the first questions you're going to be asked is, what is your AI experience? And it is not an acceptable answer to say my company doesn't allow it or my company doesn't use it or waiting to roll it out. If nothing else, I want to hear about it in your personal life. If you don't have a good answer to what is your AI experience, nowadays you won't even make it to the second interview. But if you don't just say, yeah, I've used AI, but you can provide real world examples of what you did at your prior job, you will make 50% plus or minus 10 more than you were traditionally making. So let's look to the future. By 2026, by 2027, I'm trying to put this politely. Let's just say that the window for being a late adopter is closing really quickly. The question isn't whether this is going to happen. It's how fast you can get down this road. There are a lot of people that ran into obsolescence when we moved from on-prem to cloud. There are people that ran into obsolescence when they went from writing VBA macros to like enterprise software, or going from old mainframes to desktop applications or building databases. Don't be that person. So hopefully, if all of you are on today, it means you understand the power that is at your fingertips. And I'll talk about ways to make that even more apparent and get you an even bigger advantage at work. By the way, if you ever see that little icon in the bottom right, where it says ER and says like at eRoski, my theory is you might actually want to screenshot this. If you do, that's my Twitter handle in the bottom corner. You may do with this as you will. If you go put it on social media, I guess it's called X nowadays. Sorry, I just dated myself. If you go post it on X, tag me and I will happily reshare it as well. So whenever you see that logo in the bottom right, feel free to screenshot to your heart's content. There will be a full replay of this that shows up online if you're just not in the mood to screenshot, but that's your indicator. I thought you might think that slide was cool. While a whole lot of us were having philosophical debates about over the last couple of years, maybe AI will make an impact, maybe it'll take 5 years, maybe it'll take 10, maybe it'll kill us all in 25. PSCU, which is this network of, I think it's over 1,500 credit unions, they quietly saved $35 million, and they did it using AI collaboration. They figured out that AI could churn through far more data, that it could handle 99% of the information that wasn't interesting. Basically, the 99% where things looked normal, and only float up the 1% to the humans. This happened while their competitors were still forming committees, discussing whether AI would someday be useful. Spoiler alert, already is useful. Speaking of fraud, US Treasury prevented 4 billion in fraud in the last year using machine learning. Like, oh, well, put that in perspective. They probably, I don't know, prevented 3.9 billion the prior year. That's actually a 614% increase over the prior 12 months. They were using AI to spot check fraud patterns that human eyes just simply can't see. The volume of data is far too great. There's no way they could have done this with humans. Over $1 billion alone was saved through just AI pattern recognition. They're saving billions, and this is the federal government. They're not normally known for their rapid adoption of new technologies. It's not when you think like, oh, cutting edge. Let's imagine the, I don't know, post office. Most finance departments, though, are lagging behind. They spent most of last year still manually reviewing spreadsheets. And that gap between the early adopters and everyone else isn't closing. It's actually widening every single day. Traditionally, technical debt grew linearly. If you waited 2 years to do something, you were 2 years behind everybody else. Because of how fast AI is evolving, your technical debt, your AI debt, is growing exponentially. If you wait 2 years, you're about 4 years behind the current technology because you're going to race just to catch up with where it was 2 years ago. Then you got 2 more years to go. So please, please be one of the early adopters. Don't wait to see what everybody else is doing. And yes, there are secure ways, there are stable ways, there are scalable ways to do it. If you don't believe me, US Treasury is doing it. Try to imagine a more secure organization in terms of what they're doing. I don't know, maybe the Department of Defense. Hopefully the nuclear codes are a little more even protected than that. American Express, they improved their fraud detection by 6% with AI. PayPal improved theirs by 10%. 91% of US banks, the people in control of the money, are using AI right now. 83% plan on going beyond just the traditional machine learning, TensorFlow, neural networking. 83% say they're going to add generative AI capabilities to what they're doing by the end of this year. So if you're still debating whether AI works in finance, whether it's accurate enough, whether it's trustworthy enough, you're not being cautious, you're being left behind. Again, that early adopter window is closing. A few months ago, I was talking to a low-level person in FP&A, and they wanted some advice on, is AI something I could use to go dig into data and would it actually find anything? This was not a large company. This was a mid-size, a few $100 million in revenue. They actually discovered a $2 million revenue opportunity. They called and told me about it afterwards. Everyone else was missing it. And they didn't do it by working harder. They didn't do it by working longer hours. They used AI to spot patterns in the data that the human analysis overlooked. You can be that strategic hero. You can be that hero of your organization. You can be the one that management doesn't view as someone who processes numbers, as crunches information, who just does the same thing every single working day of every given month. They will see you as someone who finds money that they didn't know that they had. You want a promotion or a raise? Since I guess promotions and raises don't always go together anymore. Here's how you get a promotion and or a raise. Walk into your next performance review with a portfolio of AI-powered wins. Tell them how you've eliminated 15 to 25 hours of your weekly busy work. Tell them how you've generated insights that drove major business decisions. You tell them how you became the person that everyone turns to when they need some strategic analysis done really fast or done right or done better than everybody else. Your expertise in AI isn't just valuable anymore, it is irreplaceable because you are doing something no one else is doing. You are not just pulling up ChatGPT and typing in a prompt. You have figured out how to uniquely combine your human expertise plus that AI capabilities. Save this slide too. Your organization needs these 4 AI tools. And again, I'm going to give some finance examples. They're relevant examples in any industry, but these are the 4 AI tools every finance professional needs right now. And it doesn't matter what size company you work for. You don't have to be the federal government. You don't have to be American Express or PayPal. You can be a mid-sized business. You can be a smart business, a small business, as long as you're being a smart business. And we're going to start with the obvious one. You probably don't want to be loading your company's financial and private confidential data into ChatGPT. Even if you have the Plus edition, you have the Enterprise edition, it's but an accidental click away from you being added to someone's training data. It's kind of a terrifying thing. So what you need is a secure interactive chat. Basically, you need a private chatbot for your company. This is actually pretty easy to put together. It's actually built on most commonly the same technology that you're using when you access ChatGPT or accessing Claude or Gemini or Grok. You're just going at it directly and putting a secure wrapper around it so that you do feel comfortable giving it all of your financial information, your general ledger, your trial balance, that you can then interact with it and ask it insightful questions about your business. You can say, how much did we increase from last year to this year? Where are the revenue opportunities? You can start doing the next one, and that's financial analysis. Now, you don't need the ability to chat with your company's data to do financial analysis, but they work really nicely together. So financial analysis, you can say, dive into my information, dive into my income statement, dive into my terabytes of GL data that's out there and find what I'm missing. Tell me the 5 things that are going to get each manager promoted today or the 5 things that are going to get each manager fired today. AI isn't just about finding insights. It's not just about generating new information. It's also really good at ticking and tying data. Turns out humans, we've been doing it kind of the same way since cave person days. We've been like holding up a rock and going, ugh, this rock looked like this rock. I sounded like Gronk for a second there. Does this rock equal this rock? And then we've automated it, quote unquote, with spreadsheets. Does the number in this cell look like the number in this cell? Maybe we added a formula to see if A equals B. Computers are really, really good at that. They're really good at figuring out if A equals B, or if a total of lines in column A equals column B, or if a total of lines in column B equals a number from column A, or if a total of column A, several lines, equals a total of column B. One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, it can handle it all. And then the final one that I'll say is just a must-have. If you're not doing this one, just please go do it immediately. We right now give an income statement of actual versus budget to all of our cost center managers, all of our profit center managers, and then we expect them to somehow have a degree in analysis. Here's an income statement. You go figure out why your actual and budget are off. Like, why is there variance? Computers are actually really good at that. They can figure out, oh, well, your sales are down because you reduce your marketing expense. You reduce your marketing expense because you cut your travel budget. You cut your travel budget because you tried to get profitability back from 5 months ago. It can not only flag where your actual is off from your budget, it can actually give you commentary as why you're off right now. Now, some of these functions are available in the AI that you have access to already at your company. Parts of these are available in your EPM solution. That's assuming you have a nice modern EPM solution. You're not, I don't know, running an EPM solution from, say, a random German company. But let's say you don't have it. Say you are running a random German general ledger, or you're not on a modern EPM solution, or your company hasn't rolled AI out across the board. What you don't have right now, you can custom build for your company in a matter of weeks. Call Capris AI for that. Call up Lillian. Because we no longer measure these solutions in matters of years or even matters of months. They're measured in timelines of weeks. So you could say, I want to start with a secure chat. You get it in a matter of weeks. So people aren't on ChatGPT or Anthropic or financial analysis or reconciliations or variance commentary. But start with those 4 things. Somebody should be doing an initiative about those because they will make every finance professional's life better at this moment. If you're not in finance, think about it as anytime you want to do analysis, anytime you want to do reporting, anytime you want to validate data and make sure you're not passing garbage in and garbage back out again. Anytime you want to have a conversation about your company's information, you should be doing it with a secure chat. Please, please don't do it with the public chat tools available out there. But how do we get over that anxiety? Well, that bridge from AI anxiety to AI advantage, I'm a big fan of alliteration. It's built on 3 pillars. And this is what I have actually seen and I've actually experienced working with a whole lot of Fortune 500 companies who've already made this AI transition. So if you're thinking, oh, well, this is something the big companies are waiting on, a whole lot of them are not. If you're thinking something only big companies can afford, it's actually not true. AI has removed the barrier to entry. It's predominantly cloud-based. It's charged based on usage. It's not, unless you're just buying the, I don't know, a ChatGPT license, it's not based on users per month. It's based on actual usage. So small companies, mid-sized companies, large companies, everyone can make that AI transition. And these 3 pillars I'm going to walk you through have transformed thousands of careers. And they're going to work for you too. But you've got to stop debating, you've got to stop fighting it, and you've got to start implementing it. You've got to be that leader. So these 3 pillars, to be clear, this is not from a Harvard Business Review article. It's not some management consultant's PowerPoint out of, I don't know, Boston or something. These are real strategies from finance professionals who made that jump from the AI anxious to the AI advantage. I call the first pillar, I call strategic task liberation. And that's simply knowing what to aim AI at first. The next one I call AI amplified value creation. And the third one is indispensability positioning. It's turning your expertise into superpowers and then becoming that bridge between AI capabilities and business needs. So between strategic task liberation, value creation, indispensability positioning, master those and you will not just survive AI, you're actually going to be the one leading because of it. So we'll start with the first one. So pillar 1, strategic task liberation. And this is the art of identifying which tasks to automate first for maximum career impact. Here's what most people get wrong. They think that all automation is created equal. It's not. If your job is 5 specific tasks and you automate those 5 and you haven't figured out any task to do, congratulations, you've eliminated your entire value. However, if you automate the right tasks, you unlock your ability to be strategic. You've unlocked your potential. So the difference between those 2 choices is one path of automation leads to promotion. The other path of automation leads to replacement. I'm going to tell you how to go down the promotion path. And I'm going to do it through what I call, rather creatively, the task liberation matrix, TLM, trademark pending. So the task liberation matrix has 4 quadrants. Take a screenshot while it's blank, then you can use it later and fill in your own task. What I want you to do later is write down every task you do at least once a month in your area. And then I want you to put it on this matrix, ranked Across the bottom by how much mental anguish it gives you, and up the side, how much value it gives to your area or to your company. And I'm going to start in the bottom left. So these are tasks that are low pain, low value. This is what I like to call the paper cuts. So in this corner are the chores you barely notice and you barely care about, and you don't complain about them at the end of the day when you get home. You're not just talking about how insufferable your life is at cocktail parties. These are the little things, like, I don't know, copying your Excel files at the end of each month to new names so you don't lose the old versions. Having to click on the button that kicks off the consolidation calculation on your monthly close. Sending out an income statement to someone who can't figure out where it's located, even though it's in the exact same place every single month and has been for 3 straight years, Kevin. It might irritate you at the moment, but it doesn't irritate you long term. These are one-off, low time, low impact errands. And the ROI on throwing AI at these is there, but it's pretty microscopic. You need to save your juice for bigger problems. And someday the bots will sweep this up automatically, but that day isn't worth actually scheduling yet. Bottom right, this is high pain, low value, what I like to call these soul suckers. And here we find tasks that eat hours and don't move any needles. I don't know, downloading the GL into static Excel templates, manually reconciling quarter-end intercompanies, reformatting the board decks to change from the last quarter to the current one, or because somebody wanted the fonts, actually moved around. And oh no, we have to go insert the newest numbers. No one is going to really miss this drudgery because you're making it happen. And the executives wouldn't notice if it vanished tomorrow. Like, they don't say, yeah, a human definitely has to do that reformatting. A human definitely has to dump the GL, and a human definitely has to reconcile the intercompanies. This is perfect territory for full AI automation. Fire up some unattended scripts, let the robots suffer so that all of you don't have to. Let's jump to the top right. Ooh, not where you thought we were going. These are the high pain, high values. These are the heavyweight fights. So this is the arena where mistakes cost careers and breakthroughs make companies. Breakthroughs save your careers. These are large scale account reconciliations, multi-entity consolidations, enterprise-wide scenario planning, fraud detection. These jobs are messy. They are watched by a whole lot of people. They are strategic. The right move up here, definitely deploy AI. AI needs to be your muscle. It needs to do the matching and the crunching and the simulating. And then the seasoned finance professionals need to steer. They need to review the exceptions the system raises up. They need to sign off and say, yes, the workflow says you can move from point A to point B. Think of it, I don't know, MCU, Iron Man mode. The suit is doing almost all the work, but the human is deciding the mission. So at most companies, these actually are the tasks that business and IT are tackling first. These are the RBPs, the really big projects, and deservedly so. I'll put in one more plug for Capris here. You probably don't want your internal people trying to figure out how to do these massive projects as they go. They're too critical. Call Capris. If nothing else, get them to tell your internal IT team what to do so they're not, I don't know, making it up or Googling it or asking ChatGPT how to implement ChatGPT. Okay, top left. Why did he wait for that one? These are your quick wins. I skipped the top left and closed with it because this is your sweet spot. No one is viewing these as massive pains in the organization, but you have an opportunity to use AI as your advisor, your assistant, your force multiplier. These activities don't hurt, or more specifically, they don't hurt the executives because you're getting them done, but they do pay big. These are things like income statement analysis, auto drafting that variance commentary, updating the rolling forecast with the new drivers as they start to come in. They're already fast for humans. They don't cause you a lot of complaining to do them, but if you had an AI sidekick, these tasks become instant. 5-minute chat with a secure chat, and your prompt makes you look like the sharpest knife in the AI finance drawer. This quadrant is, it's like low-hanging platinum. Tackle these tasks, and you prove in a single sprint why AI belongs on the finance team's org chart. You can say, look at this amazing thing I was able to do, while people ignore the bottom left. They're trying to automate the bottom right. They're doing massive months-long projects in the top right. While everyone's trying to slay that dragon way up there, the real coup is hiding in plain sight. It's that upper left box. The effort is tiny, the payoff is huge. Go ahead and automate a variance analysis, automate a variance narrative, spin up a real-time forecast. Your CFO will walk in and go, why did we have this last quarter? Wait, why is IT still spending all their time trying to figure out if we're going to ban ChatGPT? Maybe it's possible you know more about real-world AI than the IT department. And hey, why haven't I promoted you yet, you genius AI professional who's clearly my successor as CFO? Sorry, I went off on a tangent. My point is, win that round. Get that immediate, low-paying but high-value task done, and you will earn the political capital and the budget to slay every other quadrant next. Oh, if anybody has questions going along, please toss them in the Q&A. Show a little Q&A button right there. And one of the many Capris people will answer them. Or if we have time at the end, I might answer them out loud. You'll never know. I was talking with a senior analyst at a Fortune 500 company, and that's not her real picture, to be clear. But she was spending 18 hours every week on reconciliation work. 18 hours of ticking and tying. She didn't particularly mind it, and it was important, but half of her work week was spent doing something a computer could handle. And she figured out how to automate that with AI in 3 weeks. And then she redirected her time to actually strategic forecasting. Now that the numbers were closed, what impact would they have? Strategic forecasting is a whole lot more value add. She actually got promoted from analyst to finance manager, and it was within 12 months. The reconciliation still gets done, just doesn't require a human brain anymore. Now, out of curiosity, I'm going to launch a poll up in front of everybody because I'm curious how you are using AI right now. So you can't pick multiple ones. You could just pick one. Your options here are personal, professional, and both. I'll give you like 15 seconds. Interesting. About 60% of you are using them for both activities, and about another 16% of you are predominantly using it professionally, which if you do the math out, it's about 75% that are using them both at work and maybe also at home. Personal alone does exceed professional. About 24% of you are only doing it in your personal life. Okay. So you can see the chart up in front of you. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question and then one more follow-up question. So does your organization actually allow it? So by the way, safe room, I cannot see who is answering this. I can only see the total number, so you can be honest with me. If your company says don't use it, but you're still doing it anyway, I'm just trying to figure out who's actually doing it there.
So far, most organizations are allowing for AI usage.
Yeah, we're at like 4/5.
81%,
Huh?
yes. 16% secretly using.
The secret AI
Rebels.
experts. Yeah. Either one day you will admit to your CFO everything you've been doing, and they will be very, very proud of you, or you can go find another job and get 40 to 60% more. Yep, we'll share the results briefly. Okay, now what I want you to do is ponder what is the task that you could automate with AI. So in case you were thinking on my nice green matrix slide, yeah, sure, Edward. I'm going to put every task on that matrix that I do as soon as I have 5 free minutes, which will probably happen around the heat death of the universe. I'm going to give you a much easier thing you can do right now. Start with your most painful weekly task. It's the one that every Monday morning just makes you groan, or I don't know, the 3rd working day of each month, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the worst day of my entire life. So go ahead and whatever that is, just type it in on the screen. It's really easy to think of. It's the one that you always complain about, either silently as you suffer and cry alone in the shower, or that you tell your significant others about. Give you about 30 more seconds. Again, I can't see how you're who's answering it, but the answers are fascinating. Okay, I'll wrap it up there. Um, Once you figured out what your task is, document exactly how many hours you spend on that thing, and then calculate what your time is worth annually on that task alone. And most people discover they're spending thousands of dollars worth of their salary on work that AI could handle for like $500 a year. The math is pretty compelling when you see it that way. So I'll show you the formula. Screenshot it. It's amazing how fast this number gets big. The math's going to shock you. So it's really simple. Hours saved times your hourly rate times 52 weeks divided by the cost of the tool that you're using. So let's say you save 10 hours a week, $75 an hour. That's mental math, $39,000, I think, in annual value. Most AI tools start at $20 a month. Some specialized ones go up to $500 a month. That's a cost of $240 to $6,000 per year. So take your $39,000 divided by 240 to 6,000. You will get an ROI percentage in the first year alone of 650% to 16,250%. I cannot imagine another investment that delivers those kind of returns. So let's go on to pillar two. So pillar two is what I call AI amplified value creation. So this turns your existing expertise into AI superpowers. You don't need to become a data scientist. I spent a couple of years getting my master's of data science. I will tell you the majority of it is obsolete. Especially the part where I learned how to code. You don't need to do that anymore. It's your years of experience become the mental training data for AI. It's your judgment that's going to guide your analysis. AI will amplify your decision making. It will not replace it. And the result is that you can solve problems that were literally impossible to solve before. Think of yourself not as somebody getting replaced by AI. Think of yourself as more like an AI conductor. You're orchestrating different tools to solve business problems. And each AI tool is playing a specific instrument, a specific role in your symphony. One is handling data processing. Another AI tool is spotting patterns. Another one is generating scenarios. Another one's writing commentary and footnotes. And then it's your expertise that's guiding that orchestra. And the results are insights that neither pure human analysis nor pure AI could ever achieve. For what it's worth, that catchy name for those role-based AIs right now is agents. You sometimes hear about agentic AI. There are now agents for everything. And you're going to hear a whole lot more about them over the next year as AI transforms from something you have to ask a question, then it gives you the answer and you have to do the work, to something that if you say, hey, go do this, it will do that grunt work for you. But someone needs to coordinate those agents. Someone needs to conduct them. And that someone should be you and not that soon to be unemployed guy sitting across from you. It's probably, I don't know, drinking buddies with Kevin. Okay, that's the second time I made a Kevin joke, so I really hope no one on today's call is named Kevin. I'm thinking of a totally different Kevin, by the way, if you are on today's call. Okay, back to an example. So I talk to a lot of CFOs on my podcast. Oh, I didn't mean to do a podcast plug, but if you haven't, go to your favorite podcast format, look for Asking Good Questions. We're on season 2 right now. I also talk to CFOs just because they're generally nice people. I know what you think, like they sit in an ivory tower, but it's gorgeous. It's got throw rugs. No, CFOs are humans. They're wonderful people. They're some of my best friends. They're strategic. They also know where all the money is kept inside the company. So I was talking to a CFO, and she said that it used to take her 2 weeks if she wanted to go back any further than current year and prior year. And she wanted to do some analysis of trends and look back at like various impacts, like, I don't know, what was a COVID impact? Where did we rise? Where do we fall? What happens when the economy surges? What happens when it lags? but she couldn't go back over 10 years because she didn't just have 2 weeks lying around. She said it now takes her 20 minutes to do the analysis across 10 years because the AI is doing it. But here is the key. She's not at all worried this is going to replace her because she is applying her 20 years of human experience to figure out what decisions to make based on those insights. So the AI is becoming the data processor and the human is providing the wisdom. And that combination of her experience and that AI's ability to spot patterns and deviations from patterns has led to $15 million in cost savings. Pure human analysis would have missed it. Pure AI couldn't have interpreted it, at least properly. You want to be a leader in, am I allowed to call these the Roaring 20s now? Started off with a pandemic. Sure. Want to be a leader in the Roaring 20s? Be that centaur, be that half human, be that half AI. It's going to help amplify both you and the AI. And AI amplification works through 3 proven methods. First of all, accelerate. Figure out how to use AI to do several of your tasks in your current job 10 times faster. Then figure out how to use AI to enhance, how to use AI to produce higher quality work than anyone ever thought possible. And then use AI to innovate. Use it to tackle projects that previously could only be done by teams. I don't know, teams like 20 people, and now you can do them by yourself. And that magic happens when you combine all 3. You're not just faster if you're accelerating, enhancing, and innovating. You're better. And you're not just better, you're doing things that weren't possible before. Here's what I'm now calling the AI Professionals Creed. It's worth sharing. I don't compete with AI. I collaborate with it. By the way, I tweeted this recently, and I got a whole lot of likes, and I got at least one person who dropped an F-bomb on my tweet response. Don't be that person. I want you to internalize this. I want you to write it on a Post-it. I want you to stick it on your computer. Hell, I want you to say it out loud every morning as you're walking into your home office. It's your home office. No one can hear you. I don't think your dog's going to make fun of you. AI needs to handle the data processing while humans provide the strategic thinking. And together, we can solve problems that neither could tackle alone. This mindset is going to separate the winners from the F-bomb dropping warriors. It's not about human versus machine. It's about human versus machine versus the competition. Pillar 3. Pillar 3 is what I call, this is a mouthful, indispensability positioning. It's positioning yourself at the epicenter of humans and AI. You need to become the bridge between AI capabilities and business needs. The secret is technical AI skills, like my high-priced and deservedly so, I thought at the time, data science degree. Technical skills, especially technical AI skills, get commoditized quickly. The hottest job from 2023 was prompt engineer, and now the AI does prompt engineering for you. The hottest job in 2024 was coding AI, and now with vibe coding, programmers are a whole lot less valuable than they were even 6 months ago. But business translation skills, those remain rare, they remain incredibly valuable, and the professionals who become indispensable aren't necessarily the most technical. They're the ones who are the best translators. The most successful AI-enabled professionals are not the ones who know the most about algorithms and won't stop talking about them. They're the ones who best translate AI capabilities into business impact. They speak executive language, not engineer language. They talk about ROI. They don't talk about neural networks. They focus on problems solved, not features that are used. That translation skill will make you irreplaceable because, quite simply, most people can't do it. When I was putting this presentation together, I talked to someone in finance, and they said they were a junior analyst, and they are now an AI strategy director. It wasn't even a title I knew existed until I talked to them. And they went from junior analyst, so just kind of the newest person straight out of college, just to a director title in 18 months. He did it by positioning himself essentially as an AI business translator. started off as the one going, wait, we're not doing anything with AI? Let me champion it. So started off as this AI enthusiast and then started volunteering, taking it on himself to do these little one-person pilot projects, and then started training others on AI, and then became that go-between that whenever IT started speaking something techie, translated it into the business. And whenever the business said, this is what we need, translated it back over to the IT world. And then he became that go-to person for AI implementations, and now is the head of AI strategy and transformation. When his company needed somebody to lead that transformation, they not only contacted him, his salary went up 73% in less than 2 years. And he didn't do it by becoming a programmer. He did it by becoming a translator. So how do you position yourself to become indispensable as a translator or otherwise? Well, indispensability requires 3 meta skills, soft skills, if you will. I know it's kind of amusing. I put these on Metal Gears. I'm talking about soft skills. First of all, curation. Curation is knowing how to select the right AI tools for the right business problem. Just because everyone has access to a chatbot doesn't mean everything is a chatbot solution. You have to know the right tool for the right, and even within the chatbot world, which chatbot do I use in different cases? But curation says this is the right tool to solve this problem. Integration, be the one that figures out how to design workflows for 2025. Until 2025, we assumed that every task would be human first, technology supported. 2024, 2025 onward, we assume that every task is going to be technology first, human supported. So figure out, if you want to be an integration expert, how to design workflows that reimagine those workflows for 2025. How do they maximize human AI collaboration? And then finally, be an evangelist. Evangelism builds excitement. It builds adoption across your organization. You don't want to be the one that they refer to as grizzled, where they're like, oh, don't go talk to that guy. It's probably Kevin. Again, sorry about that, Kevin. Don't be the person who's constantly resisting the entire thing. Be the one who's championing it. Eventually, it will catch up and people will go, oh, that was probably right all along. Master those 3 and you become that person everyone turns to when they need AI to actually deliver business value. Here's your AI positioning statement. I help businesses harness AI to solve problems they didn't know were solvable. Remember this phrase, screenshot it. This positions you as a problem solver, not a tool user. It focuses on business value. You're solving problems, not technical features. I know how to log into ChatGPT and I'm fluent in Microsoft Office. Use that exact phrase in your performance reviews, use it in your interviews, use it in your LinkedIn updates. It will make you indispensable to anyone who's planning strategically because you are solving problems. You're not just using software. And if you master all 3 of those pillars, something magical happens. Task liberation frees your time for strategy. Value amplification multiplies your impact. Indispensability positioning secures your future. You transition from being a cost center to being a profit driver. You transition from being someone who processes information to someone who creates value. You go from, it's a throwback to like slide 2, from being AI anxious to being AI advantaged. Okay, I said I was done with equations. One more equation. I call this one the AI professional's success equation. Strategic thinking plus AI tools plus business transformation equals career acceleration, your career acceleration. Strategic thinking identifies the right problems to solve. AI tools provide those superhuman capabilities. Business translation ensures the maximum impact. And the result is that you, yes, you, I'm talking directly to you, become indispensable to your organization because you're solving problems that matter in ways that work. Because at the end of the day, you have a choice. And it's not whether AI is going to impact your career. That ship has sailed a while ago. It's probably in Fiji by now. For anyone that doesn't recognize it, that was a Gilmore Girls quote because that show is an American treasure and that is a hill I'm happy to die on. But back to what I was saying. Your choice isn't if AI will impact your career. Your choice is whether you'll be replaced by someone who uses AI or becomes irreplaceable by mastering AI collaboration. Because the threat isn't AI. The threat is AI fluent humans already pulling ahead while others debate whether all this is real. AI is not going to take your job. Someone using AI better than you is going to take your job. And the business professionals who are going to thrive in the next 10 years are going to be those who made AI their strategic advantage today, not tomorrow, not next quarter, not when they have more time, today. AI mastery is becoming that new competitive differentiator. Human AI collaboration is the future of work. Your career trajectory depends on the action you take right now. Don't end up unemployed like Kevin. So if you didn't come up with one earlier, I challenge you. Identify a task that you really will automate with AI this week, not next month when you're less busy, because that will never happen, at least not without AI. Start this week. Pick your most painful repetitive task. Research an AI tool that can help. Email Lillian, email me. We'll give you some advice on it. Start a small pilot project within the next 7 days. Commit, commit, commit. Your future self will thank you, and your current self might be surprised by how much easier it is than you think. Even if your little project never 100% finishes because life intervenes, someone will give you additional tasks to do. You will learn, and it will get you moving down the AI path, not from I'm fiddling with a chatbot to I'm solving problems and taking action. Start now, because the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. First movers get the biggest advantages, and you are still early enough that you can be a first mover in your organization. But AI adoption is accelerating exponentially. There's a podcast I listen to called the AI Daily Brief, where they literally tell you the 5 biggest news stories from yesterday in AI. I know nothing else that changes that rapidly. The early adopter premium is time sensitive. Every day that you wait, that competitive advantage gets smaller and the learning curve gets steeper. It's really hard to catch up. Your AI transformation starts with a simple decision. Are you going to lead this change, or are you going to react to it? Leaders shape their industry's AI future. They become the AI strategy advisors everyone turns to. Reactors get left behind by early adopters, and then they will spend their career playing catch up. The choice you make today determines which group you're going to be in tomorrow. So I'm about done, but I had this crazy idea that I might regret later on. But I had this crazy idea last night when I was fine-tuning this presentation. So I thought, I know a lot about AI. I know a lot about career advice. I can give you a whole bunch of it within 1 hour. And then I thought, is there any more valuable ad thing I can do? So I decided I could actually sit down with a couple of you. So I'm going to give you a limited number of what I'm calling AI Career Transformation Strategy Sessions, or AICTSSs. I need to really make that shorter. To be clear, it's not a sales pitch disguised as consulting. I'm just going to sit on Zoom with you for like 30 to 60 minutes. We'll talk back and forth. We'll strategize. We'll build you a little personalized roadmap for your specific role, your specific industry, your specific, I don't know, you. We're gonna come up with an action plan for the next 90 days to actually get you going down along this path, because I like all of you. I recognized a ton of familiar faces on there. I actually emailed several of you personally and asked you to attend. I don't want you to be replaced by AI. I generally really do like you as a person. I want you using AI. And since I'm not running a really big company right now, I have some time on my hands for the first couple of weeks of June, at least until Kscope starts. I'm not asking for anything in return. This is a completely unpaid thing. But if you end up getting a big promotion and you want to buy me a tasty beverage next time you see me, I would not say no. I have no idea how many of you are going to sign up for this, but if you're interested, email me. My email address is edward@askinggoodquestions.co. Note that it's not .com, but .co, because that extra letter M was going to cost me over $10,000. There's no letter worth that much. So it's edward@askinggoodquestions.co. And I'm happy to sit down and help you figure out how you can be the one that gets promoted and makes lots and lots of money. Even if you don't take me up on my offer, I'm going to leave you with some free wisdom. The best time to start your AI journey was yesterday. The second best time is now. And every day that you wait, your competitors gain ground. AI skills compound like investment returns. Small steps today create massive advantages tomorrow. Share this phrase with your network, because the people who support your growth today are going to benefit from your success tomorrow. Because the question isn't whether AI is going to transform business. It's not whether it's going to transform finance. American Express, PayPal, JP Morgan, the US Treasury, thousands of other organizations have already proven that. The question is whether you'll lead that transformation in your organization, or whether you're going to watch from the sidelines while others get promoted past you. So book some time with me. We'll do a strategy session. Join the AI advantaged professional community. Secure your place in that awesome AI-powered future. For those of you coming to Kscope 25 in Grapevine, Texas in 2 weeks, please come up and say hello to me. I'll be wearing this fancy blue fedora. It should be easy to spot. Thank you to Lillian Buziak for inviting me to speak today. To everyone on the webinar, before I turn it back over to Lillian, thank you for 1 hour out of your life. Now it's time to go do something with it. And with that, back to you, Lillian.
Edward, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. We do have 2 questions. So we have 3 minutes. We have 2 questions
Ooh, cool.
from the audience. First question, for the initial pilot, would you recommend starting from scratch or bringing in an established commercial tool set?
So this is kind of the buy versus build one. I would try using an established tool set if you can try it really, really quickly. If this is a case of it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to go figure out if that thing is going to solve your problems, then don't do it, because you frankly could build a solution in a quarter that amount of time. What you're going to find is that a lot of the established solutions are going to get you up and running more quickly if that's the specific thing that you need. So for instance, like one of the tools I like is Oracle's EPM narrative reporting. It has that variance commentary like right now. So if that's the main thing that you need and you already have Oracle EPM, cool, turn it on, go ahead and use it. It's awesome. If on the other hand, you said, I want a private, secure chatbot that has my company's financial data automatically integrated from my GL, probably nothing out there right now that does that, you're probably going to need more of a custom solution. If it's your personal pilot, it's probably quicker for you just to grab a tool that aligns with your needs and start snapping some things together. Bigger projects are probably going to lend more towards custom or buying a big enterprise solution. What was the other question?
Okay, and we have this very interesting question because you and I were messing around with this yesterday. I'm curious about how your presentation was created, particularly the images. Did you incorporate AI assistance in the process?
That's awesome.
Awesome question from Shirley O.
Yes, whoever Shirley is, yes, those. So by the way, any presentation you make nowadays, you're going to do publicly, you should be using AI generated images. Why? Because every other image is copyrighted by somebody, and someone like Getty will send you a bill telling you because you use that image, you owe like $1,100. What I actually did is I wrote a program that took my overall top, I say wrote a program, I vibe coded it. So I told the computer to write AI to write me a program where I would tell it everything that I wanted in the presentation. Here's what I wanted for the slides. Here's what I wanted for the bullets. Here's what I wanted from the notes. And I told it, create the actual presentation and then come up with the image prompt text to generate the full screen image on each one. So I didn't 100% automate it. I did actually have to go like tweak the images a bit and kind of put them in and resize them. And it didn't like write all my comments for me, in my bullets and whatnot. But yeah, the 100% of the images and the majority of the formatting was actually AI. Wonderful question to close on.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Right on time. So thank you everybody for joining. You will receive a recording of this webinar, so feel free to please share it out with all of your friends and colleagues. And until next time, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.